U.S. President Joe Biden and Russian President Vladimir Putin will hold a video call Tuesday to deal with military tensions over Ukraine, as well as other topics. Biden spoke to reporters Friday before a weekend trip to Camp David.
We're aware of Russia's actions for a long time, and my expectation is we're going to have a long discussion.
According to a U.S. source on Saturday, Biden wants to discuss U.S. concerns about Russia's military buildup on the Ukraine border, as well as strategic stability, cyber, and regional issues. The Kremlin said the two will also talk about bilateral ties and the implementation of agreements reached at their Geneva summit in June. More than 94,000 Russian troops are massed near Ukraine's borders. The Ukraine Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov said on Friday that Moscow may be planning a large-scale military offensive by the end of January, citing intelligence reports. Biden on Friday said he and his advisors are preparing a comprehensive set of initiatives aimed at deterring Putin from an invasion. He did not give further details, but the Biden administration has discussed partnering with European allies to impose more sanctions on Russia. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken told the Reuters Next Summit that Biden was determined to stand against any aggression against an ally.
And also to defend the territorial integrity, the sovereignty, the independence of Ukraine.
The exact timing of the call between Biden and Putin was not disclosed. CNN announced on Saturday that it has fired news anchor Chris Cuomo after additional information came to light during an investigation into his efforts to help his brother, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, respond to allegations of sexual misconduct. The cable news network released a statement saying in part, quote, "We retained a respected law firm to conduct a review and have terminated him effective immediately." Cuomo, who hosted CNN's most watched primetime news show, had been suspended on Tuesday. He admitted in May that he had broken some of the network's rules in advising his brother on how to handle the allegations from a public relations perspective. In a statement on Twitter, the 51-year-old said he was disappointed, writing in part, quote, "This is not how I want my time at CNN to end, but I have already told you why and how I helped my brother." Andrew Cuomo was forced to step down as governor in August after multiple allegations of sexual misconduct. He has denied any wrongdoing. Cuomo was initially suspended after New York Attorney General Letitia James showed text and other messages in which he sought to use his own sources in the media to find out information on the case and the women involved in it. A criminal complaint charging Andrew Cuomo with a misdemeanor sex offense was filed on October 29th in a New York court.
The first witnesses in the trial of British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell took the stand this week in a Manhattan federal courtroom. Maxwell is accused of helping the late financier Jeffrey Epstein sexually exploit girls. She has pleaded not guilty to 8 counts of sex trafficking and other crimes linked to the alleged abuse. Her attorneys argue she is being scapegoated because Epstein killed himself in 2019 and cannot be prosecuted. On the other side, prosecutors call Maxwell a predator who preyed on vulnerable young girls. Moira Kim Penza is a partner at Wilkinson Steckloff and is one of those closely watching the trial.
The prosecution gave really a very by-the-book opening statement that really laid out very clearly what the charges are against Maxwell. You saw from the defense that they took a number of different tacks, issues of memory, how they were going to look at issues of money that certain of the victims have received in the wake of Epstein's death.
The first of 4 victims to testify was Jane, who teared up as she recounted her repeated abuse by Epstein when she was 14 years old in the mid-1990s. Jane said Maxwell showed her how Epstein liked to be massaged and sometimes participated in their sexual encounters. On Friday, a green massage table seized from Epstein's Palm Beach estate was shown in the court.
Jane's testimony was very emotional, very powerful. The cross-examination, it sounds like the defense was able to do a little bit of showing that there are things that Jane did not remember.
Other key moments from the trial include testimony from a longtime house manager and Epstein's personal pilot. Juan Alessi worked until 2002 at Epstein's Palm Beach estate, where he said he was expected to be blind, deaf, and dumb. He recalled cleaning up sex toys from the massage room and storing them in Maxwell's bathroom. Pilot Lawrence Vazovsky's testimony provided jurors an insight into the lifestyle of Maxwell and Epstein. He said Britain's Prince Andrew and former US Presidents Bill Clinton and Donald Trump flew on Epstein's plane multiple times. Prince Andrew, Clinton and Trump are not accused of criminal wrongdoing. The trial will resume on Monday and is expected to last until January.
Polls in Gambia opened on Saturday in a tightly fought presidential election that will test its stability and democratic progress. Voters are using a unique voting system by dropping marbles in each candidate's ballot drum. The system was introduced in the 1960s to avoid spoiled ballots in a nation with a high illiteracy rate. According to the Independent Electoral Commission, turnout is expected to be high. This is the country's first democratic election since former President Yahya Jammeh was voted out of office in 2016. He was defeated by an opposition coalition that backed current President Adama Barrow and fled to Equatorial Guinea in 2017 after refusing to accept defeat. Barrow, a 56-year-old former security and property developer, will face 5 challenges, including his former political mentor, Ousseynou Dabo. The other candidates include Essa Maifal, who served as chief counsel of Gambia's Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission that chronicled the abuses of Jammeh's rule, and Mama Kandeh, who came third in 2016 and is backed by Jammeh. Results are expected by Sunday under the simple majority system.
The parents of the teenage suspect in the November 30th Oxford High School shooting in Michigan, which killed 4 students, have been arrested. And police say the couple was attempting to escape authorities when they were caught, although their lawyers deny they fled. James and Jennifer Crumbley pled not guilty to involuntary manslaughter charges at a court arraignment early Saturday, just hours after their arrest. The manhunt was sparked after they'd failed to appear at their first arraignment the day before and had stopped responding to calls from their attorneys. Police say they were arrested at what appeared to be a residential building someone had let them into and had withdrawn $4,000 in cash from an ATM. Prosecutors say the couple bought their son, Ethan, the handgun only 4 days before the incident and that they'd failed to act on warning signs about him, including that morning when the school summoned them over disturbing and violent drawings from Ethan. Richard Kaplan is a criminal defense attorney.
Generally, parents are charged when they have some prior knowledge that there's a risk involved with the child. The easiest analogy is kind of like the dog bite case. If your dog bites somebody, that's an accident. If people have been complaining your dog's aggressive and there's all these problems, or they've bitten somebody else before, then you have greater liability.
The drawings included a handgun, a bleeding figure, and the words, "The thoughts won't stop. Help me." The parents resisted taking Ethan out of class. After they left, authorities say the shooting happened. The U.S. Marshals and Oakland County authorities were also involved in the search for the Crumbleys. The Crumbleys' lawyers say they weren't fleeing law enforcement and had intended to return.